Namah Shivaya.
We decided that on this DVD, along with just the shows, we were going to give you a little bit of an introduction as to how this whole series, Which Way 2, came about. Sort of the genesis of the entire show that we're doing now.
My brothers and I have been traveling together for about 10 years. We'd usually travel for a year, work a year, save some money, spend all that money to travel another year, go back to work, work a year, save the money, travel, and we've been doing that for 10 to 11 years.
Jeff and Steve and I were traveling together, and we thought, you know, there's got to be a way that we can make all of this travel our work, so that we don't have to go and take a year off from our travel and work hard and scrimp and save to cash up to fuel another trip.
So we thought, well, let's make a trip. Let's make a weird, wacky trip. Something crazy, something that will sell, something that a production company will pick up.
But the problem was that none of us owned TVs. We didn't know anything about TV.
We had never done anything for TV. We had never worked with a camera. We've never used a camera. We had no idea what we were doing.
We got a couple of books and read about directing and producing, and we did some research on the internet. And at this time we were living in London. So we went down to the High Street, Tottenham Court Road, and spent all our money, $20,000 on film equipment.
So we planned this crazy adventure in India. We thought, fly to Kolkata, buy a rickshaw, and then we were going to drive across northern India. From Kolkata, basically Bangladesh in the east, straight across on the Grand Trunk Road to Pakistan in the west border of India.
When we got to Calcutta, we were a bit crushed. We found out that you could only buy a rickshaw if you were licensed. It had to be a commercial vehicle. It couldn't be for personal use, and it couldn't be taken out from state to state.
One thing that I thought that might, get us our foot in the door was to visit the transport minister in West Bengal. And so I set up a meeting to try and go see Subhash Chakraborty. And I got in 9 a.m. to his offices, and the secretary told me to wait. And I sat there waiting and waiting. I was just about to see Subhash Chakraborty at about 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and something came up, and they basically, he sent his secretary in to see everyone and said, look, everyone go home. Unfortunately, you can't see Subhash. So I started yelling and screaming and kicking up a stink, and got everybody's attention in the whole place. So the next day, I was on the front page of the Times of India, and saying how badly I was treated, and it's pretty funny, but the secretary called me straight up and said, look, Mr. Egart, we'd like to get you in to see Subhash Chakraborty as soon as you're ready. He would like to speak with you, and we apologize.
We went in and talked to him the next day. Boom, we had the rickshaw. We had special permits to drive all the way across India.
Here we are. So we started. It was chaos. Driving around a rickshaw in Kolkata is absolute chaos. The three of us packed into this little rickshaw with all our film equipment, all our personal gear, extra gas, water, everything in this tiny little rickshaw.
And we had no idea what we were doing. It was crazy. It was so difficult. I mean, at one point, someone would be holding the camera, one of the boys would be holding the camera, I'd be speaking to the camera, the other brother would be trying to hold back the crowd because they'd be jumping in front of the camera. We had a microphone hooked up to the camera, which was always in the shot. We just had no idea what we were doing.
Another new day in India. We get up at 4 in the morning to beat the Indian heat, and we'd ride that rickshaw all day long, and we'd shoot all day long, and the Indians thought we were nuts.
We spent 6 months. We slogged for 6 solid months driving across India.
When you're driving in a rickshaw, it goes really slow. There's no doors. It only goes 20, 30 kilometers an hour. The roads are crazy. There's trucks and buses and cows and goats and pedestrians and beggars and everything. So it's dangerous, and it's slow, and it's uncomfortable. The roads are bumpy. It's 40 degrees, 50 degrees. So we quickly began to get tired of it all. So in Delhi, we decided to take a small break and talk to some producers, some real producers, not producers like us, but real producers. And so we found a couple of producers in Delhi. We arranged a meeting with them.
And so we started showing him some footage. He went through 1 hour, rubbish. He went through another hour, rubbish. He looked at a couple hours of footage and just said, guys, I mean, it's a great idea, but everything you've done here over the last 6 months is garbage. We can't use any of it. It's rotten.
These two producers said, look, we love your idea. We'll work with you guys to make a show. But you have to go back to the very beginning, to Kolkata, and do the whole trip again with a real cameraman.
So we hired a professional cameraman and started the trip again. This time, we did it for 3 months solid. From point A to point B, from Calcutta to Wagah border.
And, you know, finally, after 6 months, 8 months in India, we had 12-minute video, a pilot video, that we could try and sell. We left India. We then spent a year shopping it around.
And finally it got picked up. Outdoor Life Network picked up the trailer and said, listen guys, we love the idea. Let's do an hour show. And we're like, yeah, no problem. We have the hour show ready to go. They said, okay, so here's some money. You guys go back to your production team, do all the editing, and bring us back a show, an hour show. So we're like, yeah, no problem. That's all covered. We got it done. And I remember leaving that office, looking at the boys going, guys, we have 15 minutes. We only have 15 minutes of good footage. How the hell are we going to get an hour show out of this? So back in the plane, back to Delhi, back in the rickshaw, all again. We did the trip again. This time, thankfully, we did it in 6 weeks. But we managed to get the hour show, and that's where we are today.